All right, the final sampling method that you are going to do is a random method. Um, so if you take a look at the notes, second to the entire population method, this is probably the least biased because it takes out kind of the human element. So you're selecting individuals within the population randomly, whether you use a random number generator or some sort of random number table, but it removes kind of not any chance of bias, but a great deal of bias, just based on the fact that there's less human element in here. So hopefully no one group would be overrepresented because you're getting a random kind of smattering of the individuals within the population. So for this one, it's pretty straightforward. You're just kind of randomly selecting, and you personally aren't randomly selecting, you're using some sort of tool that is a random number generator or a random number table, like I said, to select those individuals. So for your survey, remember you're going to have the same question here. You are going to use a random number generator. So if we go back to the Mass DCT 12 folder, there is a link to a random number generator. I'm sure there are other ones on the internet that you're welcome to use, but there is a link in this folder to one that works really well. So you'll open that up, and you can set the minimum and maximum numbers here. So the minimum should be 1, and then the maximum would be the number of people in your class. So I believe my example had 12 people, and then you'll generate 5 responses. So we click generate, and the result is 6. So you'll go back here to your spreadsheet. The number is 6, and then you can just scroll back over here, and I can look to see what number 6 had for their response, and it was a no. So I would go over here, type no, and then you'll do that 4 more times. So I'll click generate again. The result is 10. So number's 10, and then their response was also no. And like I said, you will do that 5 times, so you should have 5 responses for the random sampling method. Once you have finished all of your samplings, you are going to create pie charts for each one of these tables. And in order to do that, you are going to select just the responses. So you're going to click and drag to highlight in blue all these responses. Insert chart. And put a pie chart in for us, which is what we want. If it doesn't put in a pie chart, if it uses some other sort of chart, remember you can change it over here in the chart type, over here in the chart editor. So one thing that you need to do is probably shrink this down a little bit, and your charts need to be below come on, there we go. They need to be below the table that they correspond to. So when we open up your spreadsheet, it shouldn't just have like charts willy-nilly everywhere. It needs to be directly below the responses so we know which ones belong to which tables. You should change the title to the type of sampling method that this is. So this one was entire population. And then as long as you have your wedges labeled, which it should do that for you, that is good to go. So you'll do that for each one of your tables. So you should have 4 tables with data filled in, and then 4 pie charts, one that corresponds to each of the tables. And then that's really all that you need to do, and you should be able to finish it in class. So once you have done that, you can get the shareable link and submit it to the assignment on Schoology that's called Sampling Method Madness Data Collection. If you click on here, it does have all the instructions for each of the tables, again, if you need to go back. But basically, you're getting points for having data for each one of the sampling methods, having pie charts with all the necessary items for each of the tables, and then submitting it correctly. So you'll just submit the shareable link as usual, and then next week you'll have a reflection assignment where you talk about your results. Well, type about your results.